Hi, it's Allie of the now internationally noticed Warglitter Zines, and today we're going to talk about divination with DnD Dice, and what does that say? Both of today's zines focus on the art of divination, which is reading the future or messages from the other world using some kind of mundane device that helps you kind of like free your mind and use your intuition. You might know it as fortune telling, looking through a crystal ball, tarot cards, reading entrails, the patterns birds make when they fly, opening the Bible to a random verse or passage and reading that and interpreting what it might mean for you, dripping ink in water and reading the pictures, reading tea leaves, looking down a well at night with the light of the full moon behind you. I mean, there's just all kinds of divination. When I was a kid, my grandmother would peel an apple all in one long strip, and then she would have us throw it over our shoulder, and whatever letter it made when it landed, that was going to be the first letter of your husband's name. You wouldn't believe how many times it landed in the shape of a C. As you can see, I collect tarot decks. I collect them for the art just as much as for using them. Some of them I don't really ever use other than to just look at the art and appreciate the different ways that people interpret the cards with their artwork. One of my favorite ones to work with over the years has been the Vanessa tarot. This was made by Lynyrd Narciso, and I really like it because it's woman-centered, it is ethnically, racially inclusive. It pulls from some really interesting and recognizable iconography. Different women who you would know from movies and pop culture, Disney princesses here. And so I like it because I don't have to think about who is that person and what are they doing. A lot of the times it's really clear who that person is and what they're doing. Divination for me is really about checking in with myself and just kind of stepping back and looking in on the choices that I'm making and the things that are happening in my life in a more kind of distant way, kind of like from an outside perspective. I think it's really important for me to do that pretty regularly, otherwise I tend to get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff that I'm not really thinking about kind of that bigger picture kind of thing. So it allows me to step back and do kind of like a mental, emotional, spiritual inventory ever so often, which is a good thing for me. So the first zine I want to talk about today is divination with DnD Dice. Divination with dice is old-timey. We've been doing that for a long time, and so it really makes sense that we would start using the D20 from D&D to divine our future or answers to problems that we might have, kind of like a Dear Abby situation. What? So this is a divination system that Marz came up with using D&D Dice. I've seen this before, but never used it myself because I don't own any D&D dice. What is interesting to me about Marz's system is that it incorporates the trump suit or the major arcana from tarot, which is my thing. Absolutely. And so the idea of combining the two is actually really interesting to me. So the way Marz does it, they have one die for elements, which are an indication of the area of life the reading pertains the most to. And so for air, that's going to be kind of like intellect and thought, communication, those kinds of things. For fire, that's passion, action, those kinds of things. For water, you're dealing with romantic feelings or just feelings in general. And then earth is going to be physical, material, your health, your home, money, and then being able to use those well to the benefit of everybody. So then also they have a dice for the problem, which is based on Aristotle's 6 elements of tragedy. And then they have a dice for the action that you need to take: right view, right resolve, right speech, and right action, right livelihood and right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. And this is based on the Eightfold Path of Buddhism, which is very interesting, and that gives me a lot to think about too. That's my dog. And then difficulty, timing, which is interesting. I'm not very good at timing with tarot cards, so that could actually be really helpful to me. And then your lesson is the tarot card. And there's a tarot card, Magician through Judgment, for each die side on that die, because that would be 1 through 20. And then you put it all together. So you have a die that's assigned to each subject, and they give you an example reading in the back so that you can see how they kind of put it all together into more of a narrative structure. So it's not just the first die indicates this and then the second one indicates this. So it actually comes out as a really fluid reading. So you can follow Marz on Tumblr as Hillbilly Oracle. Marz is actually like 1 state over from me, so I appreciate the hillbilly moniker. So yeah, this is a really cool little zine. I like it not only because it's a subject that I'm interested in already, but because it's step by step, and then it kind of gives you an example at the end so that you can sort of start by structuring your readings the same way that Marz does, and then branch out and see, what works best for you and what correspondences are really meaningful for you. So this is really awesome because it gives you a good place to start, but it would also be something that you could build your own practice off of as well. So thank you Marz, for sending me that. I really enjoyed looking through it. The next zine I want to talk about is this one by the Salt Lake Lettering Club. This is a club in Salt Lake that makes zines that focus around really awesome like hand lettering font, which it reminds me of like old concert posters, like from the 70s, where everything was hand drawn. They also sent me their first volume. They said that they found a stack of it right when I made my order for the second one, and so they sent me the first one too. And the first one is cool. It's got, there's a different artist for each page, and then each page has a hand-lettered and usually illustrated line or sentence or statement on it. Boop, 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 boop. This one's pretty cool. So I really enjoyed this because I don't know, I enjoy doing hand lettering. I don't do it enough. Like, I kind of have one way of doing it that I do it, and then I do it that way every time. And I would like to branch out and try some different stuff. So it's really a fun zine, but this one I think takes it to the next level because it's the same situation where there is a different artist on every page, but instead of it just being a statement, each page is intended to be like reading a fortune. So it's kind of like some zine bibliomancy. So you can just turn to any random page and get a message. So this one says, "For better luck, you have to wait until spring." So maybe I'm gonna have kind of a crappy winter. I don't know. So yeah, this is so my thing. Look how cool this is. So very beautiful and really cool looking fonts that I want to try. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I saw it on Instagram and bought it from there. So you can find the Salt Lake Lettering Club on Instagram, or you can visit them at letteringclub.com. Thank you to Marz and Salt Lake Lettering Club for letting me review your zines this week. That was really nice. I really enjoy both of them, and I have another zine from Marz that I will review in a different episode. Feel free to follow me at Warglitter on Instagram. Instagram is my preferred social media area for the moment. I'm also on Mastodon, if you can find me there if you even know what that is. And I am on Twitter, but I don't really use it a ton. It's just not my favorite platform. I didn't do much zining myself this week. I really needed to grade some papers for my kids so that they can do their next assignment, and I just kind of had a lot going on. It really paid off though. I got a lot of work done this week. I think that's why I'm having such a hard time committing myself to sit down and actually do this, is because I worked really hard all week and I kind of just want to relax. I actually restarted Battlestar Galactica today, and I know that's just a defense mechanism because I want to just chill and not do anything or go anywhere or talk to anybody, and that is what that show does. If you would like to send mail directly to my face, please go down to the bottom of the dooper-doo, and my P.O. box is down there. You can send me postcards, zines, whatever you want, and if it's a zine, I will look at it and see if it's something that I want to review. Yes.
To vomit, but Casper looks up